Hello.
Hello.
I
Howdy.
Hold on. Please hold. There we go.
Hello.
I
Uh, oops.
Excuse me.
Martin, did you get your email?
I did, thank you.
Does the automatic reminder, I think about an hour before.
Okay.
okay. So I think Anna's gonna come later. Is that right?
That's what her email said,
Yeah.
although she was
And
a little fuzzy on the time, but
and I think that's it. I think everyone else is here, which is very exciting. So if it's okay, Maria, I thought we would open up the meeting of the, is that okay? You're muted.
Yep, you're all set.
Okay. All right, so 7 p.m. I'd like to open up the May 5th, 2025 meeting of the Madison Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Agency. So we have in attendance Martin Brogy, myself, Lee Schumacher, Stephen Lowry, Joe Boudreau, our staff member, Maria Patello, and Raquel Stubbs, and then our applicants. So our first application is from last time. It is application 25-07, 1260 Durham Road. This is for an addition, a 1,500 square foot addition and access driveway for the Madison Veterinary Hospital. And this, we did a site walk and had some discussion. And Mr. Benjamin kind of kindly came back and went back to his client, and I believe, according to the new plan submitted, um, changed things a bit. So if you'd like to give your name and then kind of update us on what's happened.
Sure. My name's Pat Benjamin. I'm a civil engineer. My office is located at 360B Main Street in Durham. I did talk to Dr. Kumar, so we revised the plan. I have it on my screen. Can I share that, Maria?
Yes, you're a panelist. You should be able to share.
Okay. See if I can. There it is. Can you see that?
not yet.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
and now we can.
Okay. So let me just move this over. So originally, once again, this is the Madison veterinary property. There's the existing driveway. They have a parking lot in the front, and this is the existing building. And then they had a 12-foot wide driveway that went around to the back, around the well, and they had parking in the back. And originally, he told me he was trying to work with the pitch of the roof, which goes left and right, pretty much east and west. So he wanted to lengthen it way out into this area, which would have involved the blasting and moving the driveway. So what he did was he went back and talked to his architect, and we brought this way back. So it's just 19 feet. They're going to have a door right here. This allows them to actually create four more exam rooms. They have a larger reception area and a handicap bathroom, and they have a secure area for their pharmacy, which they didn't really have before. In doing that, it went from 1,500 square feet to 1,650 square feet, just because of how they had to route the hallways inside this. And most of the addition is in the back of the building. The edge of that existing driveway is located right here. So in this area where they have to do a 12-foot driveway, we just have to go into the dirt that's there. So we're not taking down any trees. There's just brush and there's no ledge there at all. We dug into it. So he has to just take out this small area here, which at the widest is 3 feet. And then he has to bring in about a cubic yard of base material and processed stone and then a pavement. In not doing the work over here, we had to take the roof water and we brought it to where there's an existing yard drain. So over into this area, the parking lot sheet flows over into here. They have a catch basin or drain, and it ran through a 6-inch pipe right almost exactly the middle of this excavated channel, which is the outlet to the culvert. So what we did was we just ran a 6-inch SDR 35 pipe, and the sizing for the roof water is based on 1.3 inches, which is what the DEP is requiring now. Usually, like I said before, if we were designing this from scratch, we would have raised the whole building. So we could have done some type of underground galleries or infiltration or something else. But everything is so low on the site, we couldn't bury any galleries here. Number one, because it's too close to the septic system. And number two, because of the perch groundwater table, I'm not sure how well they would work. So this is just a level spreader. It's 10 feet by 10 feet. It's 2 feet deep. We have a detail for it. And even though we have to remove a cubic yard, they have to bring back in about a cubic yard of stone to line the level spreader. We have silt fence around all of the disturbed areas. So basically, we have silt fence around the parking lot, even though this is the only area we're disturbing. And then after he saw cuts the parking lot, we just have silt fence around this area. That's pretty much it. I know you've been out there. Be glad to answer any of your questions.
Questions for Mr. Benjamin?
Just to clarify that the level spreader is just for the roof water? Is that what you said? I'm sorry.
It's for the roof water, but there's also a little bit of the parking lot drains right here. Most of the parking lot drains this way and this way, but for some reason they put a little low spot in, so this little corner drains to it, which is fine because now at least it'll have a place to trap sediment. Before there wasn't any sediment trapping at all. Everything that ran off the parking lot in this area went into this drain that had no sump and just outletted right into this little drainage channel from the outlet of the culvert.
Okay, thank you.
Are you gonna have to blast on the ledge behind the building to put in the addition?
Possibly. So what we learned recently was that I was talking to somebody in town. When they built this building, they excavated all of this out and blasted a lot of it and removed it from the site. They didn't do this area. That's why the parking lot is so much higher. So I actually took a bar probe and went down about 4 feet in this corner. We did not hit lead. So I think they blasted it out and then just brought a little bit of material back into this corner. But it is possible that they will have to blast for the footings for the slab, which would be removed from the site.
Which wouldn't have effect on the wetland anyways.
No, it wouldn't have any effect on the wetlands at all.
Hopefully it doesn't have an effect on the well.
That may be a problem. So what they do when they blast in areas like that, they try to pound it first.
Yeah.
If they can't pound it, then the blasting company would have to do a blast survey, which concerned Dr. Kumar only because he'd have to deal with the animals that are in there when he was. And I said, there's nothing I can do about that. If you want this addition and there's ledge there, you're going to have to remove that ledge.
Hopefully you can pound it out.
I actually believe it's just loose material that's there right now.
Good.
So what you're removing, so the driveway, you're gonna have it so it bumps out a little bit.
Correct. Here it's 0, there it's 0, and here it's about 3 feet out. There's about 12 inches of fill there, and that's it. So he would just probably put that in the back somewhere. This is a field. He may just put it back here, but it isn't ledge. We actually dug into it.
Okay, so there isn't the only blasting, if it happens, would be that back part, not for the driveway.
Correct.
Other questions from agency members? No? Um, so you're bringing in fill, you're taking some away, and then you're bringing in some for the level spreader. Is that right?
Yes, so we have to excavate this area out about 18 inches, remove any unstable soil, and then we're bringing back in, I think I have a cross section here. I do it different for every site. So it's 12 inches of 2-inch diameter stone. So that has to be brought in just to line this area. And over here, this is about a cubic yard, and this is about a cubic yard also, removing this little soil that's here. It's a very small area. It's nothing compared to what he was going to do before.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like the scale has shifted pretty dramatically, which is great for the wetland. Okay. So other comments or questions for our applicant? No, it's very quiet.
Do we have a staff memo on that?
We
I
do.
seem to remember getting some staff memos, but I couldn't find them when I looked this afternoon.
We do have a staff memo. Um, so I'm happy to share that. So Mr. Benjamin, if you stop sharing your screen, I can, let's see. I think, so can you guys see that?
It's a standard one.
Yeah, so this is our draft resolution. It has, yes, it's our standard. It's the agency's agent shall be notified 48 hours prior to any regulated activity. At all times, site work and soil areas are stabilized. As erosion and sediment control measures will be in place. And they will comply with Connecticut's guidelines and right. The applicant shall submit a revised plan indicating the limits of clearing. Is that on the plan now?
Yeah, we talked.
No, oh, I'm sorry. No, the one little pavement area, for some reason, the layer in AutoCAD didn't show up, but
Didn't
it's
show up,
actually
yeah.
just outside the silt fence.
Okay.
So we can revise that.
Okay. So, yes, so this is our draft resolution, which is standard except for making sure that we get the limits of clearing in there.
I move that we approve application 25-07, 1260 Durham Road. Um, uh, uh, with the conditions that are outlined in the staff memo that's up on the screen now.
Okay. Any seconds?
Second, third,
All right. Great. We have a second. Any other discussion of this application? All right. All those in favor, raise your hand.
Aye. Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Nobody's opposed. Okay, great.
Great.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. I appreciate your time.
And I appreciate you working with us to find um, a better solution.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right.
Uh,
So our second application is 25-14, 38 Opening Hill Road. This is regulated activity modification to increase the size of a house and with property lines and to add a foot within the 100-foot upland review area.
Yes, so Bob Doan, the engineer, is not available, but Aaron from his office is here.
Okay.
I don't know if he's going to share or he'd like me to share.
I can share if you'd like. I apologize. I think my camera's not working tonight, so I apologize for that. But I will see if I can share the plan with you guys. I know Bob kind of gave you a rundown on this already, so I'm happy to elaborate more or just answer you guys' questions, whatever you would like.
So if we remember from last month, this subdivision, and they had to come back, they've come back once already because the houses that were spec homes and the people who, once they buy them, are changing them. So this is a modification. And Aaron can fill you in on anything else if you have questions.
All right. Just as a reminder, it looks like, you know, there's these setbacks that resulted in the movement of the pool and the driveway. Is that right?
Well, the house, yeah, the house increased in size, which triggered an increased setback. So they had to
Right.
do a lot line revision, and while they had to do that, they decided to add the pool,
Right.
the pool in there so that can get done.
Right.
But go ahead, Aaron. I'm sorry, I keep stepping over Aaron.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Yeah, I think yeah. So this is the where we increased the size of the house slightly, which triggered the setback issue. So we modified the lot lines. We also joined the two lots from this was a 4 lot subdivision. It's now joined into just there's only going to be 3 houses built. We also modified the other lot 26 at the last month's meeting. So this is just kind of finishing up that and the modification to lot 30. And then this is the area where they added the pool. And I know there was some questions last month about the pool discharge. And I believe Bob mentioned there's going to be a saltwater pool. So hopefully that won't be as large of a concern.
Questions?
You show wetland setback area along the silt fence. You're gonna put up markers.
Yes, I believe that was a condition of the original approval to have those markers.
Has that area been cleared? What are you gonna put the markers on?
I believe the silt fence is already up on this site, and I believe
Yes,
the
it'll get-
clearing has already occurred on this site.
Yeah, but you're gonna put the markers on the silt fence?
Yes, I believe that was the discussion that they would go on the silt fence.
Is
That's
that gonna stay there for 20 years?
Markers for the silt fence.
Well, the markers, if they're on the silt fence.
No, so they would be temporary on the silt fence, and then if the commission would like, we can put them on like posts, a small post. Is that what you guys would typically like?
Once the site stabilized, the silt fence will be removed and the markers. the posts
Markers
will
we
be
put
up.
on metal stakes or 2x4.
Yeah, I think they're 4x4 posts.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just new on the commission, so I
Yeah,
don't
it was
know.
a condition of approval.
Yeah.
From the previous, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Other questions for the applicant about this application?
So the plan before us is not the one that's on file with the town. Because this looks,
Yeah,
it's not the one that's in.
I'm trying to find it too, Martin. I can't find it in.
I'm sorry, when you mean on file with the town, you mean the subdivision, or what do you,
This site plan doesn't appear to be in the folder for this application.
um, on the town website?
Yeah, here.
On the one that's linked to the agenda,
Okay,
so the folder for this application, it doesn't have this map in it. And it's kind of hard to see on the screen.
It
Yeah,
looks
the
like
pool's
it's
not shown.
It looks like it might be I had the same problem, but it looks like it's the same one that's at the bottom of the list.
Oh, okay.
yeah, sometimes there's either a page 2.
April 29th.
Yeah, there's a map dated 4/4/25 at the bottom of the list.
Yeah,
That's the
Oh, I've
one
got it
that-
now. I
Okay.
apologize. Yeah, I see it now.
I couldn't find it either, Martin.
It's all the way down.
Yep, I got
Yeah,
it.
they don't necessarily go in chronological order on
Sure.
the website. I don't know why that is.
Fortunately, the dates do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Schumacher, could you just point out the 100-foot review line since you have this up right now?
Let me find it. So this line here is the 100 foot.
Okay.
Comes around here, passes through the pool, the back corner of the house here, and just wraps around by the sanitary system.
And originally, not, it was out of the 100-foot review, right?
I could show you the original one if you want.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't think it changed that much. Here it is. Hold on.
Are you gonna have to move where you're proposing the well because of the possibility of a swimming pool?
Yes, looking at that now, we would need to move the location of the well if the swimming pool is
Can you see my screen?
yeah.
Yeah,
So here's the
that's
100-foot review original. Well,
yeah. That one, that's the map that doesn't have the pool on it.
and then
Right.
the pool's going right about here.
Yeah,
So I'm not sure. I don't think the house shifted. A majority of it was they added a huge front porch along the whole,
Mm-hmm.
which counts as coverage, which increased the size of the house because that counts to footprint. And they somewhere I think they filled in something like over here. So now I can't see because I have the two of them up at the same time, but
Okay. And so the markers that Steve was talking about, they're going at the limits of clearing,
the markers.
these wetland markers or whatever the markers are that we've been talking about that are going.
Yes, hold on. I'm going to bring up the other plan if you don't,
Shown on the drawing.
if he doesn't, if Aaron doesn't mind.
No, that's fine. I think Maria. I think we actually added those to the plan too.
Those are on this new plan.
On the new plan, yeah.
They were not on the original one because that was a condition. And they are on the new one. I don't know if you'll be able to see my
they didn't
screen
show
better.
limits of clearing. They show the silt fence. So
And here's the markers.
yeah,
Okay. And okay.
So
So
here's the
currently,
balcony addition, this big porch addition,
right.
and this
So
balcony.
currently those markers are at the limits of clearing, right?
Yes, it's along the silt fence line.
And my understanding, I don't remember the language of the original approval, is that nothing can happen past those markers. There's no lawn, there's no clearing, there's nothing that's going to happen past those markers.
Let's take a look and see, shall we? $38.
Because because that was an identified vernal pond. That's in part my understanding, my remembrance of why
Yes.
we have that marked out. Right. So silt fence line, no mow, no disturbance. Okay.
Which still is in play. So if you want to, the draft resolution, I didn't put that back on there because that's still a condition. You can add it back if you want to, to be on the safe side.
Yeah, I think just to be clear.
That's up to you. I just, when I do them, it's just to give you a jumping off point. It's
So the distance, you may have already said this, Maria, the distance from the wetland flag around that vernal pool to the limits of disturbance, is that the same in the new application as the last application?
yeah, I believe it is. I don't think anything got any closer
Okay.
It was mostly because of I think some things may be, well, because of the disturbance with what happened in the back, what he wanted to do the pool.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if maybe something did anything in the septic had to shift, Aaron, because of the increase? No?
No, so the septic area hasn't changed. Um, the limit of disturbance didn't shift closer to the wetlands. The house size did shift closer and did increase. It looks like it's about 10 feet closer.
Okay.
The house itself.
For the,
It didn't shift closer, but because of the increase in size of the house, that was relatively closer. If that makes sense.
So it's 10 feet closer to what? The,
It's
The
10
limits
feet
of disturbance.
closer to the limit of disturbance or the
okay.
wetland.
And it says, so the fill, there's going to be 100 cubic yards of fill. That's for, where does that go? The pool, near the pool?
I think that's just for the general grading of the lot around the foundation.
Okay.
Um, to of the topsoil and stuff like that that we would bring in to place around the foundation.
Right. But that's,
And
and
the
that's
grass area.
being, that's in the review area because the house, that corner is in there.
Yes.
Okay. Other questions for the applicant?
Yeah, I have a couple. If the silt fence that goes along the side of the house around the pool comes up and wraps into the septic system, and then there's another line of silt fence that's kind of behind the reserve area. Do you see those two?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I think that the silt fence going into the area where we need to excavate for our leaching fields should be adjusted. I mean, we wouldn't want our silt fence running right through that area, I would imagine. And secondly, I thought maybe we could move the silt fence behind the reserve area to closer to the actual primary leaching system to kind of reduce the limits of clearing.
Okay. Yeah, I think that those the silt fence that's shown going through the leaching system currently on the plan is actually silt fence that was located out there as it's installed.
Oh, okay. It was done already.
Yeah, I
And then the
believe
house
plans
was
were
already built.
overlaid.
yeah, it's already installed. Obviously, when the sanitary system is not installed, so we can move that. I don't know if the piece down gradient of the reserve area is installed or not.
Okay, we should have something there though, I imagine.
Yes, yeah, but we could, if it is installed, I guess we could move it closer, like you said, to the where the actual work is going to be taking
Yeah.
place. But we
And
could certainly connect those two cell fences to
yeah, that would be a good idea.
security to the wetland area.
Okay. Yeah. I look at the Davison report that's on this file and it doesn't say that this is a vernal pool. So I'm wondering if we need to revisit that or
Well,
am I missing?
he says it's a pool that forms in the spring, but that doesn't seem to be biologically active.
Right. There's
Yeah, I mean,
no,
it's a vernal pool, but nobody breathes in it.
Well, at the one time it was checked, right? I mean,
Yeah.
well, he went three times during the vernal pool season.
for 1 year, right?
Hmm.
Well, we don't want to screw it up whether it's got things living in it right now or not.
Yeah, I
I,
just wanted to think about the relative sensitivity that we might have to it. It says 1 inch of water ponds in the wetland during the wet season. So it doesn't strike me as being viable in terms of a vernal pool. So I just think that we should be careful about using that language.
well, I would there. Maybe I shouldn't have used that on this application, but I'm pretty sure that when we walked that site walk, we found a pool next to one of these homes that had wood frog eggs. So there is somewhere on one of these properties is a vernal pool.
Okay.
And I don't have the original pulled up, but we did find there is a vernal pond out there on,
Okay.
I can't speak to that because I wasn't on the walk.
yeah.
I
So
could have,
we,
I could have sworn, Kia, that was the area where you found something.
That's where I
Yeah.
thought, too, Joe.
You
Yeah.
found it like immediately, the very first one that we came up to.
Yeah. So we did find, on our site walk of this property years
I
ago,
see.
we did
Okay.
find which is why it was called out, is we did find wood frog egg masses in that pond as right,
Awesome.
like right then.
Great.
So that was,
A
and
good catch.
that's documented. So, I mean, we talked about that. That's probably in the minutes or somewhere.
I don't remember that last time. Okay.
This is, I can't remember how many years ago now. It's
Oh,
been-
I
okay.
remember there wasn't a lot of water in it too, so
No, but they were there, and so we
Okay.
documented it. Which is why, because I agree. There's a lot of the wetlands that we have that are, skunk cabbage swamp meadow things that don't necessarily host a lot of vernal pond species and have other functional value. In this case, we did find vernal pond indicators.
Cool.
Other questions for the applicant? Okay, well, I can,
Ooh, hey,
you can still
Resolution
ask
Kaya?
questions.
There you are.
Pardon?
You were frozen a little, but you're good.
Oh, okay. So this is our general language. I guess I would say that we should add in that number 3 that we have from the original about having the markers every 50 feet, whatever that was that you had on your original plan, Maria.
Okay.
Just transfer that condition over to this new one to keep everything together. So this is our general, resolution. Does anybody want to make a motion?
Make a motion that we approve wetland application 25-1438 opening Hill Road in accordance with our staff memo dated today. And for adding the condition number 3 that the nearby wetland markers will be placed every 50 feet along the silt fence. And also that the silt fence for the primary septic system will be moved closer to the actual excavation.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a second. Any other comments? Any other discussion?
Nope.
No. All right. All in favor of this motion, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstaining? Okay, great.
Welcome, Hannah.
All right, thank you. Okay. So that's approved. And we have, am I frozen? Yeah, I'm not frozen. So we have application 25-18, 107 Old Toll Road. This is for 3-lot subdivision referral as well as a regulated activity permit for driveway drainage and septic system on lot 3. We did have a site walk. A couple of us went out for the site walk. And we have Mr. Mandel to speak for the applicant.
While I'm
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for showing up tonight. So this is 107 Old Toll Road. It's a 12-acre parcel. There was an old house there that's most likely going to get torn down. I would say it will get torn down. The wetlands were flagged by Bob Russo. He was late in getting a soils report, but it did get done today and it was part of the package. This it'll be a 3 lot. This is for a subdivision referral. This is not these are not the final plans. They can certainly be modified based on comments tonight when you do see the final plans. There's a drainage swale runoff that's proposed at the bottom of the driveway. That's about 98 feet of overland flow before it actually hits the wetland boundary. And on lot 3, there's a proposed septic system, which is about 80 feet from the wetlands. The reason sometimes these test pits get done when we just do general testing to see what kind of soils there are. So I don't see any reason in looking at the plan further that septic system would not get moved outside the 100-foot review. I don't see any reason why we couldn't. The soils were not, it's ledgy, there's boulders, but there is adequate areas for septics and wells up there. The land trust, I spoke with David Roach of the land trust. They're very interested in obtaining the 6 acres to the north, and it is contiguous with the Madison Conservation Commission already. So it would just lend another parcel to that. Very nice. There's a nice stream that runs through there, and that would all be going to the land trust. And if there are any questions, I can certainly try to answer them.
Can you highlight on this plan that you have up? Oh,
Which you want, I'm sorry,
yeah.
you want the subdivision or the one with the
I just want to see it's hard to see the outline of the open space. Is it?
Yeah, so below, so you see the dark line that runs along, yeah, so it runs from there, Maria's pointing out. And so that entire parcel, the magenta line at the top, and then that open area that doesn't show any grading or any activity, that would be the open space. And to the north is the Madison Land Trust, owns that parcel.
So mostly it's on most of it. The open space doesn't encompass the water course entirely.
No, not entirely. Nope. But it generally falls within it. Actually, when you head towards the southeast, the water course is actually closer to the eastern edge. And I would say, and if you look carefully, Keila, if you zoom in on that, Maria, you can see we actually located the center line of the water course. So on lot 3, there's a bit of it that the actual water course runs along that. And that is part of lot 3. But like I said, we can always reconfigure lot lines based on recommendations from the commission, and these are not the final plans.
Other questions from the commission?
I guess the obvious question is how you configured them on this plan. What criteria did you use?
Well, there are a couple of things. One is, so you have to get building squares in there, Lee, and you can see the actual square in
Yep.
each lot. So that pretty much dictates a lot of how the lots are designed. So you have to get that 100-foot building square in there. So there is room to manipulate that. We can slide the lot lines around a bit and maybe encompass the entire water course. If that was important to the commission, we might be able to get the entire water course inside inside the square.
Well, I guess I think it would be nice to have the water course protected as land trust property.
Yeah. So Kilo, I was listening to the other application, and they also had the plaques, and that could certainly be put up actually even on the lots themselves. Further protection, the plaques can be put along the wetlands, not necessarily along the land trust property.
Yeah, that was actually going to be a recommendation that I had, just given walking the property, because there is a lot of skunk cabbage wetland that comes off from the water course. It would be good to delineate that so that it's very clear that it is wetland and not for developing or building or anything.
And in fact, and a lot of times the commissions don't realize it, but during planning and during a subdivision, that could be actually added into the deed when the lots are conveyed. That could be made a condition. So not only do they see this map, because when land is conveyed, land is really conveyed by deeds, not maps. Maps don't convey land. So when you have the written word, that's a lot more powerful than showing it on a map.
Yeah, no, I think for something
The
like
attorneys, the buyers, everyone's aware of it when it's in the deed.
yeah, and I think that in this case, that would be definitely something we would, I think, hopefully recommend. If
And
we
they can
have,
also put the conditions on the map.
right,
Right, exactly. But it's more powerful to have it in the deed.
Mhm.
Maps get lost, no one looks at them after a while. But the deeds are conveyed, and the attorneys are made aware, and the buyers and the realtors all know that.
yeah. Well, I think it'd be nice if there's a way to shift the lot lines to get the whole water course into the open space and definitely have markers. I had a question about, it says there's 3,600 square feet of fill. For lot
No, that's not Phil. That's disturbed area.
disturbed area.
Right.
And that's
Within the review zone.
right. And that's for the driveway and the drainage swale? Is that
Yes. Yep. Yep. It is. And like I said, lot 3 also, we can tighten that up. But as I said earlier, when you do test pits for a large parcel, you do so many test pits and then you plot them and then you'll put the plans out and then you can see there's areas where we can probably get those test pits closer or actually completely outside the 100-foot review on lot 3. Lots
want
1 and 2 there's almost no activity at all within the 100-foot review.
Did you want me to switch the?
Yeah, so you can see that, I don't know what color that is, brown. It says the inland wetland review line. That's
Yeah.
that's that line right in there. So actually lot 3 is the only one that we're proposing any activity within the review, and then the septic is about 80 feet away from that, but I can certainly tighten that up.
Lot 3 is pretty tight as it sits with where you could put a house.
And they're gonna have no, yeah.
No, exactly right. Exactly.
We're not approving that tonight, but whoever wants a house there needs to realize they don't get much more than what it shows now.
Absolutely. That's incumbent on the developer and to let the buyer know that for sure.
Yes.
And this is not for approvals tonight. This is only for
No, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I always feel a little antsy about approving something that's got a house on it, even though we say we're not approving the house.
no, but we are, the idea is that in our referral to planning and zoning for a subdivision, these are concerns that we can call out. Because, with respect to how tight this is to the wetland, it's very steep. And, there's not a whole lot of scope there.
Yeah, there's a lot of ledge between the house that's shown and the steep slope, so we're not going to get much encroaching there.
Right, and generally we put large houses on here so they can always scale them down.
Yeah.
And we always show pools, even though, they might not have, the buyer might not want a pool. We try to make it as reasonable and extensive as it possible, just so the commission isn't blindsided when someone comes in with this massive project after the referrals.
Although we've just had that happen.
Well, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying we try to, yes, and we're usually.
Well, hopefully someone will ask for permission instead of forgiveness this time
Yes.
around, so.
Yeah. So this 3,600 feet of square, I mean, part of this is an application tonight. So it would be good to understand, this, I guess it's for the driveway drainage and septic system. You're saying, at least that's what the application says. So you're saying that it's possible to maybe get the septic system moved back a bit?
Yeah, so if you look at lot 3, if you zoom in a little bit, Maria.
Yes, boss.
Yeah, thank you. On the septic system. So you see where we did the soil testing, there's so test pit 4X and whatever. So I can jump that a couple of contours in and probably get that where pretty close to where the stockpile area is for the septic.
Which is great, but we're supposed to, we can act on this tonight. So it's saying, probably maybe move it is different than, that's not something,
No, I get it, but it's in excess of 80 feet and it's on top of the hill. You have 80 feet of overland flow for a state approved that will be a state approved septic system. And I'm not saying we're not going to put it there, but I'm just saying it's possible to move that.
I don't see that you're gonna be able to move it out of the wetland review area. Although you can move it uphill some.
well, I think that's what he was saying. He could move it up a contour
Yeah.
too. And the driveway. So the driveway is also part of this application. And
Yes.
what is the intention? If you could just go into that in a little more detail.
So we did have a full drainage report and we gave that to the town engineer. He's reviewing that now. So there's going to be a spillway. It's going to be a paved driveway. And there's going to be a spillway to capture the runoff. And that's about 90. The exit of the plunge pool is about 96 feet from the point of concern, wetland flag, not between 15 and 16 there. And it was relatively flat in that one area.
So your plan is with the town engineer right now?
The drainage report, yes. But that's typically the stormwater. That's for the planning and zoning.
Other questions? Applicant?
No.
Yeah,
No.
it doesn't appear that your runout from your driveway drain that's relatively gentle slope.
From the discharge, yes.
Yeah, from looking at this, it looks like you're talking about 4% slope or something.
Yeah, during the walk, if you remember, down by the highway, it was
Yeah.
relatively flat
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah.
And so who is maintaining? So this driveway is this the shared driveway?
Yes, this will be a shared driveway with an association where each homeowner will be responsible for that. And that will be in everyone's deed.
This is owned by an association, not fee simple by one of the lots.
No, that it's not fee simple. As you can see that the heavy dark lines.
Yeah, I see
Steve,
those.
yeah, that won't be owned. That'll be shared by all three.
Okay.
And so the maintenance of the plunge pool and the swale, the driveway itself, I assume, that will be taken care of by this association.
By the responsibility of the homeowners, yes.
And that will be in the deed. That will be written out.
Yeah, right. There'll be a maintenance agreement and that will be in the deed. Absolutely. It's not ideal. Personally, I don't like shared driveways. I would never buy one, but a house like that. But it's housing is at a premium. Madison is a desirable town, and some people don't care about shared driveways.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it is allowed.
Mm-hmm. So for lot 3, there's also proposed. So is that proposed driveway part of the shared driveway, or they have their own?
No,
Lot 3
everyone's going to share.
Septic, right?
Well, lot
what's that,
3 has got a driveway that goes up to the garage, which comes off of the shared drive.
So it's a subdivision referral, and the regulated activity is for the drainage swale and the septic system on lot 3. Right? The regulated activity.
Yeah, and yes,
Right.
yes.
So that's the swale, right, and the drainage and the septic.
You could, well, we'll get to that later.
And we're approving the septic as it is shown, and you can move it, but only uphill.
Well,
On further testing, yes, I will do that.
Okay, I
I
mean, we're
will do
not, I don't
further.
know, I'm not saying that you have to, although the commission could. I'm just saying.
I get it.
You can't move it
you
down.
could do the subdivision referral with the driveway and then ask that 3 come back.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm wondering, because 3.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is for referrals, I mean, I've seen this commission approve septics within 40 feet of wetlands, and we're 80 plus. So
Yeah.
and this is it. This is a referral, and you do get to look at this again. So I would say if you had a problem with lot 3, if I can't move the septic, then we could discuss it at that time.
Oh, I thought because I thought you were talking about reconfiguring lot 3 as well, the lot.
Right. Well, yeah, based on Kilo's comments about trying to preserve that the actual water course completely within the land trust property, the proposed land trust.
Yeah. Right. So what we have the subdivision referral, and we have this regulated activity permit for the septic placement and the drainage and swale, right? That's what we have tonight.
Well, it's all referral. I mean, because we do have the B100A, we do have health department approval, but that septic system is not the approved septic system. None of those septic systems are approved by the health department.
It would be,
The B100A just states that there is suitable soil for subdivision.
So the purpose and description of the activity is proposed 3-lot subdivision with shared driveway, the drainage swale near Route 80, and the septic system for lot 3 within 100-foot inland wetland review. So it came in for 3-lot subdivision and regulated activity for drainage swale and septic system.
right. So it's not just a referral. At least that's not how it came in. It came in, and we've had this happen before. Actually, with the horse pond one.
Horse Pond did the same thing. They did the referral, and they did the driveway with the crossing. That was their regular activity, was the driveway and crossing. And then they came back for the 3 lot out of the 4 lots.
Right. So I guess, so Chuck, that's what we're saying, is that at least how the application reads is it's not just the referral, it's also a regulated activity for the septic and the drainage, which is why I was asking about the septic, because if we're approving a regulated activity that may or may not
You're gonna move it, yeah.
then it seems that maybe that doesn't make sense, especially for, if some of these lines change, these lot lines change, etc. So
let's say I can't move the septic, I'll be coming back with the same thing. Like I said, I'm 80 plus feet from the point of concern. I just don't understand why, even though it is regulated, we will try to move it. I get it, but
I'm not.
this is not the final plan. You're going to see this again.
I get that, and I guess that's why. And I'm not saying we're asking you to move it. I guess I'm trying to understand why we would approve a regulated activity for a septic system and driveway and whatever that may be changing. As you said, you're going to be coming back for some of these. So it's clear.
I won't be changing the driveway. The driveway I won't be changing.
The driveway and drainage swale probably won't
That
change.
won't change.
Right.
I may move the septic, but already, like I said, I'm 80 plus feet. In this commission, I've seen approved septics for new lots certainly within 50, some
Yep.
within 40.
We're going to just talk about your application tonight. Love to hear.
Okay, no, I get it. I get it.
We'll
I
just
get it.
keep
I
this
just
one.
don't know why I don't know why I would be treated differently. That's all.
You're not. I'm just trying to clarify what we're voting on tonight, because we have a regulated activity and a referral. So I just want to be super clear.
Okay, no, I got it. I got it.
That's
So
all.
it's for the driveway and the septic. That's what the application is.
Maria, I think you had said something, now I can't remember, that I also wanted to follow up on, but I'm not going to remember. Do you remember? No, that's
Did I
okay.
say something just now?
Like 5 minutes ago. It's fine.
Oh,
I should have written it down.
I have a question that the wetland permit application, the checkbox is for regulated activity. The checkbox for referral is not checked off.
It's,
So
hold on,
how is it
I just
both?
had it.
I'm just looking at the permit application
Yeah,
itself.
that should have been checked,
Well,
Mark.
no, well, it's there, because you know why? Because we don't have subdivision referral. We have site plan special exception permit referral. So it happens all the time. It's not, I mean, it's a correct application. It's just that we don't have a box that says subdivision referral.
Can we
So,
add one?
well, we're getting rid of paper. It's all going online soon. So,
Perfect. It's much easier to do it
yeah.
that way. So is this
So
a
it might
regulated
have been, I
activity?
wasn't, yeah, I wasn't part of the
It's okay,
refiguring of
Maria.
it,
It's
but.
so is this a regulated activity permit application then, or how have we decided it's a
It is for the driveway, the drainage swale.
We
And
go by, hold on, I'm looking at, I have this like your.
everything within the regulated area is what you're saying is before us as a regulated activity.
just lot 3, just that driveway and the septic. That
I
and
got you.
We go by what the
Everything else
proposed
is
activity is.
drainage swale. Okay, great. Where on here does it say referral or subdivision referral?
that's
Proposed 3-lot subdivision.
yeah, with shared driveway. So that's the subdivision referral.
Is it?
And the
Okay.
referral is going to be, so the referral is separate from approving the regulated activity. So for the referral,
Right.
we would discuss that. And, oftentimes our minutes can count as a referral. In this case, maybe we want to say something about the open space and potentially having the entire water course be part of the open space. That would be something that we would have in a
Your
paragraph
referral
to
suggestions, yeah.
yeah, our
So
suggestions to
are we going to
planning.
do two different, are we going to have two different votes
Yes.
then? Or yeah,
Well,
okay.
yes. So that's and that is really what I was trying to clarify as we talk about this is that yes, of course, anything that is within that, like Horse Pond, anything within the 100-foot review that is going to be built comes back to us. But we do have regulated activity to vote on tonight for lot 3 for the septic and the driveway. And we will also have a discussion about the subdivision referral, and we can vote on that. And then that is something that gets forwarded to planning and zoning.
So
Which
I
one should
believe
we do first?
Well, I just want to make sure. And any other questions here for people? And is that clear? Everyone on board with what we're doing here?
I
I
think
think in
so.
the staff report, I broke it down where in the resolution that it's in 2 parts.
Oh,
So-
great. Okay.
Okay. Well, I can share that. All right. So where did you break? So we have the 3-lot subdivision. So why don't we do the regulated activity first? Does that sound good?
What,
Yes.
The regulated activity.
hold on, if you're gonna change, let me bring mine up, because if you're gonna make changes,
Okay, so let
I'd
me,
like to type as we go.
okay. So wait, this is the, yeah, this is the right one.
Yep.
So what we have is, here we have any future development involving site disturbance within the 100-foot review area beyond activity indicated in the application we're looking at right now will require a regulated activity permit. So that is one thing. The agency encourages the protection of open space. All right, so this, Maria, that is for the referral, right?
Yes, the first
Okay.
part, if you said voted, Madison Inland Wetland Agency
Oh,
favorably
right.
recommends. So that's the referral, and the second one says approves application.
Okay, so let's go in order. So let's do the referral first. And I guess I would add to this is that the agency encourages protection of the open space with transfer to Madison Land Conservation Trust. I guess I would add, if possible, it would be great if the
Including,
to include the entire, to include the entire water course in that open space. I think that simplifies protection to some extent instead of having the boundary go through the water course. But that's just a suggest, these are just for us, this is just recommendations to planning and zoning. And I guess the other thing we can recommend and then vote on, um, and then add more to if people want, would be the 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 markers, And I think Madison Land Conservation Trust would put those up anyway. But those should be
You
it'll
want
be
that as a condition 3, that land trust, that conservation markers be added?
yeah, I think that should be there. I'm sure the land trust would want that as well. But I think it'd be helpful to have it even at the boundary for this subdivision, just because you have some really distinct because it's a water course, you have this very distinct, wetland vegetation boundary you can see. It'd be nice to have it marked out.
So you want
So
conservation markers be added to the boundary of the subdivision and the watercourse?
You're just talking about the wetland boundary, right, Kilo?
yeah,
The
yeah,
markers at the wetland boundary. Yes.
Wetland
Okay.
boundary.
The wet,
the wetland boundary, just to mark out the wetland boundary.
right. And we will try to get the entire water course inside the land trust property.
And that's just a recommendation that we can have here. So that's adding to this recommendation. So let's have a motion and then we can discuss some more. Does anybody want to make a motion on this first? Well, I'll make a motion. I move that we favorably refer this application 25-18-107 Old Toll Road for a subdivision with open space with the conditions that we've outlined below, including the one just added about markers. So that's the motion. Any seconds?
I'll second.
Okay. Thank you. So just for the subdivision, so just thinking about the subdivision, is there anything else that we want to convey to planning and zoning about this? I think Steve, you had, I don't know how one would phrase it, but I guess the concern is on lot 3 that it is a challenging site for a house to keep out of the wetlands, but I don't know if that's something we want to say. And I don't see Steve here. Is he there?
Yep, there it is.
It's a tight lot and there's only certain area that you can build a house on, and the house is kind of restricted as to its dimensions.
Yeah.
I don't want to see somebody coming back trying to expand on that area up on top of the hill there.
Well, I mean,
You can always say no, Steve, if they do come back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it just I think the intent with the referral and what we've done in the past with some of these sites that are challenging is just to flag that there are definitely some challenges associated with
Yeah,
my
just put
concern
a-
is to end up having to issuing a violation is my concern when it gets kind of
yeah.
tightly.
So and I guess we've had so many of these build it and then come back for a violation and well we're going to put the pool in and then do this like Summerhill. We came back on that. I think this is the same guy.
Mhm.
And I
sounds
think
like a pattern.
and so I think trying to just flag ahead of time, and this is just a referral, that this is a challenging lot and that, currently everything except the septic is out of the 100-foot review line, and that would be the expectation coming back. And that, it's not, I know there's going to be blasting done and whatever, but I don't know how to phrase that though, Maria.
So
Right.
But
Just
I just want to say, so yeah, about that lot, that we've got really steep slopes off to the side. No one can really build there. So there's not a lot of room to expand this house. Um, and 80 feet from wetlands, the septic system, I mean, that's pretty good comparatively. I don't know. And some people don't mind a smaller lot. I don't know what more we can really say. I think they've done the best they could with this particular
Yeah,
lot. And and it is what it is. I don't think it's going to make somebody do something they're not supposed to in the future. I don't think that zoning can do anything more with it either. It has a buildable square. It meets the setbacks. It's yeah, it's tight. There's some people don't want to mow a yard, I guess. I don't know, but I don't know what else to say about it. I'm not concerned about that it would get any larger in the future.
Chuck, just out of curiosity, what you spec this house is, what do you make them, 2,500 square feet?
For the first floor, for a
Yeah, like
total
the
of
footprint,
5,000.
like, yeah, the
It,
footprint of the,
it could be. It varies. Like Steve said, I mean, the house size can vary. I mean, we don't know what's going to be there, what's going to sell, what's not going to sell. So I don't know, but it is very limited as to where it's, stuffed into that corner. There's really not much wiggle
that's what I
room
was just
for
wondering, if
that.
you did,
Yeah.
each one at
Yeah.
a 2,500 square footprint, this one, if somebody wants more yard, they
Could
can make
be.
it smaller.
Yeah.
They can
if
build
they want more
1,800.
yard, they can go to a different subdivision.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
okay.
I mean,
So,
my house I live in 1,800 square feet with, I've lived here for over 30 years. I'm fine.
yeah. So it sounds like we have our three, maybe we just stick with these 3 points that we have. We've got the 1, 2 that we have up on the shared screen, plus the one about adding the markers. And I assume in here we also had, encouraging some thought about maybe including the whole water course as well, in this referral.
Right,
And
so, go ahead.
well, and the understanding that lot 3 comes back to us regardless because it's already within the 100-foot.
So why don't can you stop share, if you stop sharing, I'll
I'm not
share mine, and then that way we could craft it. Share. Okay, now if I was really. Okay, how do I make it a single page? Okay, can you see it?
Yeah,
How do I view only one page? I only want to view one page.
You.
Yeah, go to view. Is there view? Go to home. That's fine.
there it is.
All right, it is what it is. So this is what we had. This is for the Madison favorably recommends, and then 1, 2, and 3, any future development involving site disturbance within the 100-foot review area. Can you see all those?
Yeah.
And then the agency encourages the protection of the open space, blah, 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 blah. Same thing. If possible, the agency would prefer the entire water course inside. The entire water course be transferred.
Be included in the land trust transfer.
Wetland boundary markers every 50 feet.
I think that looks good. Any
So
other,
you want here that they have to, the lots 2 and 3 need to come back as well, or
well,
lot
anything,
number 3?
I assume
Or-
anything comes back within 100 foot.
Somebody said something I didn't hear.
I just said that I assume everything that's within 100 feet has to come back anyway, just like with any subdivision.
Okay, yep, okay.
This is just a referral. It's not a.
Right, this is the referral portion.
Right.
Of
So
the
this is the
approval.
referral portion. So Any other comment on our referral portion? All right, all in favor of the referral, raise your hand, say aye.
I,
Any opposed? Okay. All right, so that's our referral to planning and zoning. And then the second part of that is the regulated activity part of this for the driveway drainage and septic system on lot 3. And so it's our usual conditions. The agency's agent will be notified 48 hours prior to commencement of any regulated activity. Everything's going to be stabilized with ENS controls, and erosion control and soil stabilization measures will comply with Connecticut statutes. So that is the motion for the regulated activity. Would anybody care to make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve application 2518-107 Old Toll Road for the regulated activity, including the septic system and the driveway swale and level spreader?
Plunge pool, level spreader.
Plunge pool, thank you.
You're
Say
welcome.
that again? Were we adding something?
No.
No, it's
Oh.
for, no,
Okay.
we're doing what you very nicely have outlined for us. All right.
For some reason, you guys are going in and out on me. I have no idea why. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, I'll second that. Any discussion of this, the regulated activity part?
Nope.
All right, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so we've got a referral and the approval for the regulated activity.
Thank you very much. Quick question, Maria. Do I need to be here for the receipt of Park Avenue?
No.
You know, I'll just hang out anyway, just in case.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks.
You.
Okay, so those are our 3 pending applications. We have very nicely taken care of those, which is great. So we have receipts. So we have 3 receipts. Is it 3 for Horse Pond? 4.
3 for Horse Pond.
3 for
1,
Horse
2,
Pond.
3. Yeah, 3 for Horse Pond. Yes.
And which we knew were
Yep.
going to come back to us.
Yes.
And I mean, we can speak to, so again, with our receipts, we need to decide if we need a site walk. We need to decide if there's any significant activity involved, which would trigger a public hearing. So we can, the 3 Horse Pond ones, I know we walked that property. I personally would love to see the crossing at some point just to see what they've done. But
Was out there today, actually.
oh, okay. Well, you have to take pictures next time and
Yeah. I may have some somewhere. Yeah, it came out nice. They buttoned up the with like sandbags and hay bale and everything and cleaned off. They got the timber off of it.
Okay.
Cleaned up the site, and it's status quo now until these lots get approved. So
Okay. And so Maria, so I guess I would ask you, do you feel like anything has changed significantly enough that we should do a site walk or to look at these house sites? Would that be helpful?
I mean, it's cleared. You could drive by. It's cleared now. In front, they put the temporary, the driveway in. There's rocks up there, so you can't go in it or over to it. But it's about it is what's cleared
Okay.
is mostly it's cleared up until the crossing. They have not done anything beyond that.
I see. Okay.
So
Okay. All right. So I don't know.
I have a question, though. My memory's not too good. I'm pretty sure I was on the sidewalk. I can't
yes, you
remember.
were.
Is there any way you can get the overall site plan in
You
one
wanna
of
see
these folders?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Um,
Nice to see it all together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We can have that added.
I'm rather concerned
I
with.
thought it was, but I could be wrong.
I didn't see it. but I may have missed it too.
And I also could be confusing it with Opening Hill because he's got two going on at once.
Right.
Because I can drive by it again, but it would be helpful to maybe have the overall site plan someplace.
Yeah, he didn't come back for a modification for anything, so no. It might have been Opening Hill that I'm thinking of, that we added the overall site plan to it.
Yeah, I think it was Opening Hill because
You know why it's fresh in my mind? Because I kept going out there while they were doing the crossing work, so
right.
that's why I know I've recently seen it.
Um, do you know if they're gonna have to blast? I didn't. I thought there was one
I
site.
don't know. I honestly can't remember, and I feel like I might have asked him that as well when they started the work for the bridge. Like eventually I don't know if it was a question or not. I think they may have talked about it, but then they shifted things on those
Yeah.
back lots. Because at one point there was going to be a huge, like 10-foot retaining wall.
Right, right. And they were gonna have
And
to
that
blast.
changed. So I honestly don't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
We could talk about, we can ask them when they,
Okay. So that
yeah,
definitely, I mean, we'll be seeing them next month.
yeah.
Um, okay, so yeah, it'd be great to get, if you can, to add a site plan. So I guess I'm hearing, I mean, Steve, you haven't obviously been out to the site.
No, I haven't, but I've looked at the site plan and lot number 4, grading within the 100-foot upland review area. It's way into the upland review area, and they've got about a 30% slope coming down from the house right down to the wetland.
So lots 2, 3, and 4 are all coming back. So yeah.
Yeah,
Right. So
what
that's,
I question is whether or not it should have been approved in the first place as a lot. It's nasty, very tight.
We,
And you've got that, again, you're filling right in almost down to the wetland. I know we can't do anything about it now. I'm just, from my perspective,
And
from
we
the
can't do anything
wetland,
about it now. We're not talking about it now. Because let's see, hold on here. Can you see that? This is the site,
it's,
overall site plan.
oh, yeah.
Oh, I remember this now.
And this is what they just completed.
the crossing, right,
Yeah.
that crossing.
And
And
then this is the temp sed base. This is gonna be the stormwater wetland, but this is the temp sed basin right now.
so that field hasn't really been touched.
No. No, they cleared, so the temporary driveways in, and then
Right.
they did all this clearing to get into here, and then nothing is done,
Right, on those two lots.
yeah, over here. And there's like, they actually did not put silt fence, or they might have put silt. They didn't want to put construction because of the animals, so they just put silt fence at the top.
Okay. Um, and did all the property things get sorted out and that with the
No,
neighbors?
so they should be before. There's been the map has, again, now I'm getting them confused because he has two going on at once.
Well, it'll show up.
Yeah.
I knew there were, I mean, there were definitely some issues that should be sorted out before.
I don't know whether the subdivision map was filed or not.
Okay. Well, that would be helpful before they start
Hold on, I'll let you know in 1 second.
building.
Again, because he's doing the Opening Hill Road and
Mhm.
this one at the same time. Horse Pond, he asked for a 90-day extension to file the Mylar. So, which should be filed before the June meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'd be good. Okay. And
So the
maybe we
subdivision
can
map has not been filed yet.
okay, it'd be great to have that in our packet too, if we could
Yeah.
see that.
Mhm.
All right. So I think in general, I'm, people maybe can drive by and look at the site map. So we don't need to schedule a site walk for this unless someone objects hugely. You can object.
And
in a-
again, it's only for the lots 2, 3, and 4. One of the very first lot
Right.
by the road doesn't need to do anything.
Right. So our next receipt is 10 Northwood Road. To add a bedroom and
Yeah, so this is, they're gonna put an addition, a single car garage addition, and, an ADU behind it. So it's, they're adding, it's essentially an addition to the house, which will be in an ADU, accessory dwelling unit, and a single car garage, and there's a screen porch in the back that's going to be modified, because it's gonna be a, kind of like a shared entrance.
and how close is this? Oh, here we go. I was trying to
Like a
figure out.
fence.
So it looks like
60, 50 feet, 40, 50 feet.
oh wow. Okay, so the wetland review line.
I can't.
Let's see. Site plan.
Well, Maria, is this one that you would recommend that we look at?
Um,
They,
yeah, I mean, yeah. If you want to go by and look at it, she's aware that you may go by, and you can go on your own.
can you
Get
see
some,
this from the road?
yeah, I don't know. I was gonna go out there today. I was all over the place today, and it just started raining too heavy. It was not gonna be worth it. I don't know where I have a better site plan than this, but
I was gonna say, couldn't find the site plan.
it's
Yeah,
right
there's-
here it's on the first page of the,
It's on the first page, yeah. Um,
hold on, I keep looking it up and thinking I'm sharing it, and I'm not.
Yeah, the site plan's pretty hard to follow, but
So here's the 100-foot review area. It's the whole,
House is already in it.
it's 40, yeah, it's 40 feet. The addition's gonna be 40 feet to the wetland boundary. It's pretty flat, that much I know. I know we met with the architect. And it is pretty flat. You could probably drive up the driveway, or, drive, sit at the end, see it from the end of the driveway. I did tell her that, you may want to see it, and she said she would either give me some dates and times, or, that you can drive by, or just to let her know, give her the heads up.
and I saw they had it was hard to see, and I read it quickly. They had an NDDB. Are they in an NDDB? They submitted one.
no, it's just
No.
what the state sent a letter saying there wasn't.
There wasn't. Okay.
Wasn't anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it sounded like no on a sidewalk for this. And as far as significant activity, that's one of our other criteria that we should look at now if we can. It doesn't look like, I mean, it's close, so I guess we'll have to look and see what that entails. Okay, so I'm
Hold
hearing,
on, you want me to bring it up on the, oops?
I don't think it's a significant activity. There's no direct wetland impact, so.
No, yeah,
no, I agree. Okay,
With the others
So-
as well.
yeah, so no sidewalk, not significant. And that brings us to Park Avenue, 20 Park Avenue.
yes.
And go ahead.
This is, I actually didn't, this just literally came in. I haven't really looked at it yet. I was talking back and forth with the architect while they were planning it, and we had already posted the agenda. And then
Right.
it literally came in like 4:30 like Thursday and we had to change the agenda on Friday. So I have not looked at it in its entirety. Yeah,
Okay.
just give you a brief, I know all the work is being done like up here. Some small additions of decking, I think
Marie,
mostly
yeah,
deck.
Marie, I'm sorry, Chuck Mandel here. If I can clarify a little bit for you.
Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, so actually what they're proposing is a pool and a heavily landscaped
Oh,
area.
cool. That's what it was.
Just yeah, that's there is a pond, a small pond out there that Bob Russo had looked at it several times from March to the end of April. There was no vernal pool activity there. He said it was low, and that's in a report that he did for us. He said it's loaded with filamentous algae, whatever that. I'm not sure what that is, but he said it was pretty devoid of any other life. The algae, but
Yeah, she worked hard to try to to get it out of the wetland, the design, but it just really couldn't be done.
no, actually, it's going to be there's a very heavily landscaped area that's between that pond and the pool area, and that's going to be part of the application. You just drive up Park Avenue; it's right there on the road. If you want to, anyone can go look at it. Oh, the other activity is just going to be on the house, the deck.
Okay. So filamentous
Oh, so
algae.
yeah, so this is a much better representation of what we're proposing.
Oh,
That's
here's the,
that's from the landscape architect.
So the pool is new.
Correct.
yes,
Yeah, that's part of the application is the pool and the landscaping.
Okay.
And you can see the pond from, or where the pond is from the road, is that where you're
Yes,
saying?
absolutely. Yep. Yep.
The pond fresh water?
Yeah, it's pretty well contained. It's mostly from the drainage on that area. Park Avenue is a very low
Yeah.
area. So most of it, there's a couple of uh drainage pipes from across the street that flow into the pond.
you have, where's your,
Oh, that pipe is flowing in that goes under the road?
Yes.
So there's really no outlet except.
No, there's no outlet. It just kind of sits there.
trying to find your plan. Do you have a plan in here, Chuck, or no? It was just
Yeah, we do. No, we have a plan.
She
That is
threw the,
Where is this on our agenda?
It's
it's
not
a receipt.
It's a new agenda. So that's what Maria was saying. There's a new agenda that came in because this was received late after our
Oh,
other agenda
okay.
went out. So
Oh,
if
I
you
see.
Yeah,
So
it was
it's not,
posted, the application was posted and I mean, the agenda was posted, it came in late and we had to add it on.
oh, okay.
So I'm not sure if it made the one that she sent you or, it's definitely on
No,
mine,
I
No,
was just
it,
completely confused again. I've been sick for 4 days, so my brain's not quite working.
because it's on my agenda, so,
Yeah, this is just for receipt anyway,
it is-
yeah.
too.
yeah, it's just for receipt. So it sounds like all of these, to some extent, we can drive by and look.
Right.
And it doesn't look like we're looking for we haven't seen any significant activity. Of course, that could change, but in general, it looks like we are set to go and we'll review these next month.
Yes.
Works for me.
Okay?
Thanks, Chuck, for hanging out.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right, so our next agenda item is section 13, just one. We have 287 Boston Post Road, a permit to construct an addition to the garage within a 100-foot review.
Yes,
And that was all fine?
yes, there's a drop. It's a small, cute house. I'm glad somebody finally bought it. They're turning the garage, adding on the back of the garage to make it 2 bedrooms, like converting a garage to a bedroom. And then like there's a small hallway in between in a second bedroom. And the wetlands are like 60 something feet off the back. And it's like, there's a drop for the wetlands. So yes, that was it.
Okay.
Um,
Yay. So next are
enforcements.
enforcement. So we have 129 Green Hill Road, and this says tabled until May. It is now May.
So, our friend Jess, so she has, all habitat coming back out. According to her plan, she had to do some plantings, for those of you who were not involved in the show. This was a violation of someone who cut, oh, I can't even remember how many trees
Oh,
all around,
a lot of trees.
a lot around, all around her pond. They fell in the pond. She had to do a large remediation, and she hired All Habitat, and Michelle Ford came out and did an evaluation, and All Habitat gave her a planting plan to mitigate, and she did half of it in the fall, and she had to come do more now. But in the meantime, All Habitat has to come back out. They want to check regrowth because they want to avoid overcrowding. She could not get them to come out before the meeting. The earliest date they could give her was May 12th. So we said we will see her in June. I said, that's fine. And she gave us some updated pictures of the growth, things that started growing back in the fall. I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. Some of the plantings she's done, and some things that are coming back. So it's one of the plantings. And these are things that are starting to sprout back.
Oh, good.
Yeah. She says there's a lot. And so that was before she has a list of things that she's supposed to get. I just did a couple of them. That she's supposed to get. They were going to come back and check to make sure that it's going to stay to, what she's supposed to do. She's waiting to hear back. She's supposed to place an order for 1 black gum, 1 high bush blueberry, 2 black chokeberry, 4 northern white cedar, 2 winterberry, 4 northern spice bush, and 1 weeping willow. That's pending on if they say, yes, you still need all of those, some of those.
Okay.
But yeah, she's done quite a bit, and she's following her plan. So we'll see her in June.
Okay.
If you want to see her in June.
Well, it sounds like everything's going along well. So
Yeah.
it's nice to get the updates now that we're back in the growing season.
Yeah. So everything looks
Um,
like it's taking nicely.
That's great. So our next, so yes, so then we'll just hear, then we'll just wait to hear on.
Yeah, you could wait to hear what All Habitat has to say, if she's going to continue on, if they wanted to do less, more, and then you can make a decision whether you want to see her again in July, or just have me keep an eye on it for the future and be done.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, we have the other enforcement, which is 58 Railroad Ave.
58 Railroad Avenue was a combination of a zoning, wetland, health, and blight violation. It was a property that had been through the mill. It has now, health is cleared up, zoning has cleared up. Wetlands, they had an order in, they've had this silt fence up, and they had to replant some grass. They disturbed some area. It is now, the tenants have now moved out. The property has been totally abated. It's cleaned. We're in the process of ending the blight. Was back out there today, and the grass that they had planted in the fall is sprouting nicely. And she did say that, I don't think it's really has anything to do with the violation, but now that the yard is clear and they had taken a lot of things away, she's going to be reseeding again, probably. She was hoping to do it this week, but with the rain, it'll probably be this weekend because of some of the yard has been, banged up a little. But as far as the wetland violation goes, everything is cleared out, and the wetland mix that they planted is starting to take. So,
Okay. Well, that's all good. That's great.
yeah.
So is this one that we're done with then?
Yeah, we totally I believe we can release it. So,
Okay. Is everyone okay with that?
I am.
Okay. Yay. Nice to have positive things.
yeah.
This is the house that had that old rotten garage behind it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've been
And
waiting
where
for
there was
that
an
to-
abandoned, somebody abandoned a camper on the railroad property in the parking lot there. Occasionally things will turn up in that parking lot along the railroad
Yeah.
there, like a boat trailer. There was this incredible, I don't
So
know.
the camper was theirs, was the rent, was the tenants.
Oh, it was theirs. They abandoned it in the parking lot and then had
They
to
had
take
it
it back.
parked there, they had to move it to the site, and that ended up being one of the things that, and the blight, things just got worse and worse, and,
Yeah.
I was waiting for that
Yes.
garage to fall down.
yeah, the health department actually paid for the dumpster. And we waived the
Wow,
demo fee for them to knock it down and
that
fill it.
was
I mean,
kind.
there's a lot of work, a lot of team effort on a lot of departments. Madison Family Services.
Good work.
I
It
think
was
the
an
stuff,
eyesore.
I think the stuff that was in the garage is what was holding it up.
There was vines. There was trees and vines growing through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was just an environmentally conscientious green roof.
Well,
Solarium.
yeah. Well, it's good that we have that off our plate. It's nice
Yeah.
to clean our schedule. All right, so that takes us to approval of the minutes. We have the minutes from our April 5th site walk. That was me and Steve.
Yeah.
Okay, motion
It's
to
not even
approve.
really a walk.
So,
I
yeah,
abstain.
I guess, yeah. So Steve made a motion to approve. I will second. All in favor of approving the site walk minutes?
I
Us.
guess it's
Nope.
just two of us.
She was like,
Abstain.
you could tell I really, really, really got detailed in those minutes.
It
Yeah.
looked good.
It's like we came, we walked, we left.
It was a good site walk, and it wasn't raining at all, hardly at all. Like we lucked out. Okay. And then the approval of the April 7th minutes. So I scrolled through, there wasn't anything. There are a couple minor things that aren't worth talking about. So I didn't really see anything. Did anybody else see anything in the minutes?
No, I scrolled through too. I didn't read them very closely, but yeah, I got to say they were very well done. I thought they were very well done.
Yeah, they're very, it's great because you can get a good sense of what happened at the meeting. All right. All in favor of approving, I'll take a motion. So all in favor of approving the minutes of the April 7th, 2025 meetings? Or no, wait, I move. Leaping ahead here very quickly, I'm going to slow down. I will make a motion to approve the minutes of the April 7th, 2025 meeting. Is there a
I'll
second?
second. I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay. All in favor of approving the motion?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstaining? Okay. Remarks in the wetlands chair remarks. I don't have any remarks. It looks like we'll have a busy agenda next month. Got a lot of receipts. So get your tea ready. Seltzer, whatever.
Drinking mine
Whatever.
already. Yeah, I think hopefully they'll have everything together for Horse Pond so we can hear that. And Northwood, again, if she comes back with me, like there one time we did on Liberty Street, the people worked from home during the day. So they were like, if you could, whatever. So if she comes back with any requests, like, hey, Saturdays are better or during the week after 5 is fine. I'll let you know. Otherwise, she said, she had no problem. And you could probably see it right from the driveway. The
Okay.
way, I mean, the way it's looking in the site plan and Park Avenue too, you can drive by. I have to go walk on Park myself. So.
Yeah, it would be great if we can all at least do a drive-by on the ones we haven't been to. Just do a drive-by. Horse Pond, you really can't see where the sites are, but for Northwood and Park Avenue, it would be helpful, just so we have a sense. Okay, any other comments from anybody?
Nope. I move that we adjourn tonight's meeting, the May 5th meeting.
I'll second. All right, all in favor of our last motion of the evening?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye.